Welcome to PoliticsNY with Skye Behind the Curtain, where we speak with community leaders and industry advocates about politics and government. And right now, I am with the two ladies in charge of Girl and the Gov. They founded this events-based, digitally savvy approach to learning about politics. And I connected with Sammy and Maddie on Instagram, I guess in the beginning of the pandemic. That's when it's the new way to make friends, really.
It literally is. I mean, that's how Maddie and I literally got together and started the podcast. All Instagram. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's great.
All DMs.
It's great to see young people getting engaged in politics. And Sammy and Maddie will tell us about Girl on the Gov and the podcast that they have, where they've interviewed people across the nation who are running for office, all kinds of elected officials and candidates. And they're also organizing an event on Saturday, October 16th, where I will be the moderator of a panel. So we're really looking forward to that.
Truly, like literally the countdown has begun, but I guess we'll start with the backstory of like Girl on the Gov, like what's the deal, what's the story, all of that. And I founded it, I don't know, like 2 years ago at this point. Time flies when you're having fun or when you're like into politics. I swear to God, I aged like 10 years every day. So nonetheless, I basically found that there wasn't really any good mechanisms for getting young people like myself involved and informed on politics, civic engagement, voter registration, you name it, that really felt like it aligned with stuff I like to do. So I went to fill that gap, and that's exactly what we did with our bespoke events. So it really all started there. A pandemic just decided to plop itself in the middle of, all this fun. And as I was trying to figure out like, okay, like, what do I do? How do I keep this message going? Maddie and I connected on, like we said, Instagram of all places. She DM'd me. She literally slid into my DMs, was like, what about a podcast? Like, how do you feel about that? And the rest is kind of history. So from there, like you said, we've had this podcast, Girl on the Gov, the podcast, aptly named, obviously, keeping it in the family there. And we basically look to answer everyone's stupid questions, and we have tons of them, about politics, civics, you name it, through experts, whether they're candidates, they're, heads of organizations, educators in the field, the whole 9 yards, just to really like make it fun, make it interesting, and make it like not scary to ask all of the, intimidating questions when it comes to politics.
And Sammy, you're here in New York, and Maddie, you're across the country in California.
Yes, I'm in San Francisco. And I was going to add too, we just realized yesterday that our year anniversary was on September 30th. So we've now been doing the podcast for a year. So that's crazy.
Yeah, it's great. Tell us about some of the guests that you have on your podcast.
Oh my gosh. I mean, our guests have truly been like some of the best part about what we've been doing. They've all been amazing, and just so diverse and ranging from totally different issues and fields, and from politicians to organizations to lobbyists, we've really tried to hit everything, and they've all been so amazing and provided such amazing insight and simplified everything so amazingly, because that's really the real gist of our show. And what we aim to do is just try and simplify a lot of these issues, simplify these terms so that people can understand them. Because I think there's so many terms thrown out there in the political space that people are expected to kind of know, but don't really know and didn't get the proper education really to learn a lot of this stuff. So that's really the goal there. And our guests have been an amazing piece of helping us, accomplish that goal.
So you've partnered with a few different organizations that perhaps you connected with on Instagram as well for this event on October 16th. So tell us about what to expect there in Brooklyn on Saturday, October 16th.
Yeah, well, besides seeing you there, which is going to be obviously a huge highlight of our day, bringing the fashion and all of the fun. Yes. Love it. But we are going to be pre-gaming. We're going to be talking politics, a little bit of this, a little bit of that. And we are going to have an awesome panel, which you're going to be leading, which is so cool. We have 4 amazing women candidates that are running for different offices, from the congressional level to New York City Council to mayoral, that are going to give their scoop as to, what it's like to run for office. Like, should I have deleted my Facebook before I ran? Like, what was scary? What did people tell me? What did people, not tell me? What are sort of those holes for young people running for office, which is super helpful for people that are interested, but also for people sort of viewing it from the outside. Like, what is this crazy political world? What is it like to be a young person in there? So we're doing that. And then like, obviously we're having some drinks. We're going to have some games. We're going to get into it. It's going to be a great time. There's some surprises, which we will not reveal at this point, but if you obviously come Saturday, October 16th, 2 to 4 p.m., Brooklyn, this awesome bar called Emblem, you'll find out.
Fantastic. And I'll include the link to get your tickets to that event at the bottom of this YouTube video. So tune in there, everyone. So what's the goal for the organization now? After October 16th, you are planning other events in other places, and what's the goal?
Yeah, the goal is really to sort of just continue what we're doing, which is rebranding politics and making it more approachable and accessible, and really just pull back some of that red tape. It's such an intimidating space, and there's so many things that people don't know, or they feel like it's not their specialty, or they're too far behind to even like get into it. We want to really change that game and change that narrative and make it accessible in a way that makes sense for millennials and Gen Z, in a way that just actually feels natural. So that's what we're going to continue to do. We're going to hopefully be bringing events to other cities. So Maddie's San Francisco over there is going to probably be next on, sort of the hit parade. But I think a great, moment to mention that if you're listening, you're watching, and you are, not from either New York or San Francisco, and you're like, I love this, I want an event, or I want to like figure something out, let us know. We are so open to, really meeting our, our followers, our listeners, and more, where they are, and, where, we can make the magic happen.
Fantastic. Well, I look forward to Saturday, October 16th with you, Girl in the Gov. Thanks for being on PoliticsNY with Skye. And we look forward to your podcast and seeing more of the guests that you're speaking with.